Hello, good evening. Welcome to Hot Edition here on 3FM 92.7. We're coming to you live from our studio here on the John Hammond Street. Live on our numerous affiliates across the country and on 3news.com. Coming up this evening, Education Minister allays fears over possible shortage of teachers following reported mass exodus of teachers to Europe and elsewhere. He says there is more than enough to deploy as Ghana marks World Teachers' Day today.
Ghana is one of the few countries in the world where there's no teacher shortage. We have a deployment challenge. We have so many people waiting in the wings to come and teach.
We'll get reactions for you to this. Also, this evening, lawyers for Minority Leader Dr. Kesela Toforsen fight off claims he has reached out to the Attorney General to settle his 2.3 million euros criminal case out of court. A lot later, tough times ahead for Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, as a minority declares him persona non grata. We'll tell you exactly what that means if you stay with us here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. A pleasure that you could join us this evening here on Hot Edition. I am Eric Mawuena Egbeta. This bulletin is streaming live on Facebook. Our handle's 3FM927. Same handles on Twitter as well. Also now X. I'll have to get used to that. 3FM927 as well. Use the hashtag Hot Edition. Leave a message for us. Or in our Facebook stream as well. You can leave a message there for us as we bring you details over the next 1 hour. 45 minutes from now, the business team will be here to bring us the very latest from the world of business. We'll be followed by the sports team, and then we get entertainment as well. But the biggest conversation this evening is that even before completing school, some trainee teachers are already planning to leave the shores of the country and render their teaching services abroad. They cite poor conditions of service for teachers and disrespect for the teaching profession as a driving factor. Already, the National Teaching Council has disclosed that as many as 10,000 teachers in the country are certified to work abroad, raising fears of a mass exodus. Ibrahim Abubakar, he's visited some of the trainee teachers and been gauging the mood. He joins us with a bit more details, and then we'll hear what more they have been saying. But Ibrahim, essentially they say what? They are ready to leave the country just when they complete?
Exactly, Mauna. Most of them, for most of them, even before they are done with their education, they have started with the process. So they say here in Ghana the teaching profession is not respected and they have low remuneration. So even though they have it in their heart to render teaching services, but they will prefer to go to countries where they will be respected and do that. And at least when they travel outside the country, their condition of service will also be improving. In fact, when I was even in the school, I saw one of the trained teachers. She completed somewhere this year and wrote a licensure exam 3 weeks ago. She had come to the school for a recommendation letter from the administration. She has already begun a process of traveling to the UK. And she said most of her colleagues are also doing same. In fact, some have already left and others are following. It's not only teachers even within the basic and senior high level. Even the tutors at the colleges of education, The indication I picked when I went there is that some had left. For Finsu, for instance, just last week, 4 left to the UK. Till others have left, and others are also in the process of leaving. So it is something that cuts across. Even though for the tutors, it is a worrying development because they spend most time government resources to churn out these teachers so that they will be able to fill the gaps, especially in the rural areas where their services are needed most. Only to finish, and these people will just pack everything and leave the country. But then you cannot also fault them because those who are in the service already are not getting anything beneficial in terms of remuneration and even respect when they are in the profession. So that is a driving force for many of them to just make up their mind that should the opportunity present itself, they will have no second thought than to leave the country.
And their destination is the UK, the US, because we know that in the UK they've removed certain restrictions for Ghanaian teachers that they will not need any further qualifications into moving straight from this country to the United Kingdom.
Exactly. So when you engage them, 90% of them, you can have the sense that they are traveling to the UK because of the new recruitment policy of the UK government that take up out that restriction. Others are also going to the US and also Canada, but majority of them are heading towards the UK to render their teaching services.
Ibrahim, many thanks for those details. That's Ibrahim Abubakar with details as to exactly what the situation is in the Ashanti region. In Accra, my colleague Evelyn Tingma visited quite a number of institutions as well. The Accra Training College, to be specific. And she also interacted with some of these students. Let's take a listen to exactly what it is that they also had to say, and then we can move the conversation forward.
Usually, you hear of nurses, doctors, and other professionals leaving the country to seek greener pastures elsewhere. Hardly will you hear of teachers leaving the country for same purposes. Probably they do that, but on a low key. But this time around, we are told that 10,000 trained teachers have left the country to the United Kingdom for employment. We are here at the Accra College of Education to interact with the students, what they make of this development and what could be done moving forward.
Looking at the development, salaries, payment, conditions of service and everything, it is poorly managed. That is, for me, my perspective, I think it's poorly managed, and we need to look at that. We need to put more eye on that and see how best we can develop the sector.
It's very worrying. We are losing the teachers who have gained more experience on the field, and we are supposed to even go there and get some training from them. And as they are leaving, we too will lose the experience that we are supposed to get through the supported teaching schools. The support that they need from the government is not coming, and the incentives, the allowance, and looking at the economy right now, it's not favorable to them. Looking at their allowance and the salary which is coming, comparing it to their rent and their eating and their feeding, even taking care of the whole family, is a whole issue for them. So I think moving from here to seek greener pastures is good for them.
It should be a wake-up call to us as a country, because if most of the teachers are leaving the country to other places to seek for greener pastures, it's telling us that the ratio, teacher to student ratio is going to reduce, and that we are going to have more students in the classroom without teachers.
If I'm not giving attention, what do I do? I go to other places that I feel I can get a bit okay with my salary and other things that I may need in my field of teaching.
I will stay. Since me, I believe in developing the country ourselves. Should we all have the mentality of helping the country grow? It is somebody who has developed that place. That is why they are leaving Ghana to those places. So if you also sit up and then help the government, these are some of the things, these are some of the little ways we can help the government. So me, I believe personally that staying to help or to teach here would be better for me.
Well, it is clear that these trainee teachers may want to stay in the country and offer their services to the nation. But if the conditions for teachers are not improved, they might also want to travel outside to see greener pastures as well.
My colleague Evelyn Tingma interacting with students, and notable thing, one of the students said is that this should be a wake-up call for the country. But is that the position of leadership from the education sector? Well, the minister says that there is no cause for alarm as there is more than enough to deploy to all schools in the country. He's been speaking in a speech to mark World Teachers' Day, and he says that the country rather instead of a challenge of a mass exodus, is having a challenge of deployment.
I'm so happy to observe that Ghana is one of the few countries in the world where there's no teacher shortage. We have a deployment challenge. We have so many people waiting in the wings to come and teach. You may go to an urban classroom where there are 2 teachers in the classroom, and you go to Sabzugu and we have a shortage. I'm happy that Dr. Nkansa has committed that we're going to ensure that this deployment challenge is no longer the case in the next few months. If there's a need to pay transfer grants, we'll pay it so that teachers can go to the places that need them the most. And we can forever put to rest this illusion that there's a shortage when there's no shortage. There are so many people who are waiting to be posted, to go and teach. And when we get clearance, we do that. We are one of the few countries in the world where you can get 100 teachers today if you want them. So our universities have done a good job, but we need to do a better job in the deployment process. And we are going to do just that. You see, politicians, sometimes we don't do ourselves a favor. We are worst enemies. Worst enemies in the sense that if you look at the work Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has put into education, somebody can look at you, say with a straight face that he has done nothing.
That's the Education Minister, Dr. Yawose Duchum. Let's get on the telephone lines now. Adukwe Ayikwe is the Communications Director of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana. Ms. Ayikwe, many thanks for speaking to us this evening. Would anybody be wrong to say that one of the students saying this is a wake-up call for us? That student is right. And the minister as well saying that we don't have a teacher problem, it's a challenge of deployment. Both statements can be right.
Thank you very much, and good evening to all your listeners. And I'll take this opportunity again on behalf of CCT and its President Kinali Awudu. I wish all teachers a very happy Teachers' Day. But first of all, let me come from the point of what the minister said and just oppose it with what the teacher trainees also said. As we know, government is spending more money on the training of teachers because the first batch of the Bachelor of Basic Education are already out. So they've been in training colleges for 4 years, and government have spent so much on them, just opposed with even paying them training allowances as well. And they're looking at this amount of money that have been spent of them. If you are unable to secure these teachers because we need them so that they will stay in the country, and then they go out of the country, then you know that it is going to have a negative effect on our economy because we spend so much on them, we are unable to secure them to stay, but they will go outside. They will go to UK, they will go to Canada, they will go to Europe and go and work there, although we've spent of them. So this I wouldn't like to take what the minister is saying. Yes, we have enough, but if we employ them and you don't treat them well, the whole issue is about compensation. Teachers are not well compensated in this country. If you compare it to other countries, we are not well compensated. The salary is meager, and then it will be a very difficult situation for you to post a teacher to a rural area and then pay what we have even agreed in our conditions of service, that to motivate teachers to go to such deprived areas, we need to even give them some allowances, 20% of their gross salary should be added to whatever they have, so that it will encourage them to stay. So we have enough, but you cannot compensate them very well. It is not just even about the money, but the conditions, the teaching environment, the resources that we need. All these things goes in to ensure that the teacher will stay. And then the teacher will rather not leave the shores of the country to go to UK so that he or she will be employed because he will be compensated very well. So we should look at the teaching environment, the learning resources that are available. We've started the Common Core program at the junior high school level. And for 3 years now, government have not provided a single book. We are in the third year of the first batch. Even for the first year, they provided a teacher's resource pack and a learner's resource pack for Form 1. That is Basic 7. But we've taught them in Basic 8, that is JHS 2. They have now gone to JHS 3. Others are following. And we've not received a single textbook. Even the teacher's resource pack and the learner's resource pack is only for JHS 1. So JHS 2, JHS 3, we don't have them. So look at what teachers go through to ensure that they sacrifice to teach our work in school. So if there's a greater opportunity where I wouldn't be stressed, all the materials are available, definitely I'll leave the shores of Ghana and then I'll go there where the compensation is also very good. So they should look at all these things.
Is it a case that when the person's responsible in making these decisions, in improving the working conditions, when they speak, they are not aware of some of these things? Because the minister spoke today, and he didn't allude to any of these as one of the reasons why teachers are leaving. He just said, we have just a deployment problem. But you've been analyzing this, and you're not the only one who's been saying this. We spoke to Dr. Peter Partey as well, who made a similar argument that it's not just the money, but you can't send a teacher to school and the kids are lying on the floor and are writing. It affects the ability of the teacher to be able to easily do their work. And so is it the case that you feel that sometimes they speak as though they don't know the realities on the ground?
Thank you very much. Not the reality on the ground, but due to political experience. You know how the minister was praising what the president have done in education with birthdays, with brothers. So that is all that they are aiming at. Let us do something about this so-called free SHS, which is very, very terrible, and then praise their political party and the president, and then tell the people that we've done so much, so vote for us. The same thing NDC will also come and try and do the same thing. So it is due to political experience. They know that we don't have books. They know that the Common Core program has started. They know that the resource pack was only provided for Form 1, JHS 1, and there are no textbooks. JHS 2, we've taught them no resource pack, no learner's resource pack, no teacher's resource pack, no textbooks. But we've taught them. And they are now in the minister knows. If he doesn't know, then he's not supposed to be there. If the minister says he doesn't know that we have such problems, then he shouldn't be there. If the minister says he doesn't know why there is a problem about deployment, what is the main problem about deployment? But if you have a school without tables and chairs, and you want to post a teacher to that school, where the children are sitting on the floor, where you know that place is a deprived area, and we have negotiated in our conditions of sense how those people should be motivated, and you are not ready to motivate them. That is the main problem. So they know the problem, but due to political expediency, they will refuse to mention that. All that they need is to praise singing, that, hey, the president has done this, he has done this. So that is political expedience. So that is the issue.
For you as the leadership of teacher unions, if there are no teachers, you don't exist. I know for quite a while you continue to raise some of these issues which bedevil your work. What do you intend to do in relation to this? Because you say that the minister cannot say they are not aware, and yet you're seeing a lot more of your colleague teachers who are in your various unions leaving. What would it take for you to have government come and sit at the table? And so if for a year or so we don't have to have conversations about a lack of books, a lack of textbooks, a student under trees, because you're the individuals who, in the end, will be going to the classrooms.
We've been talking about these things. We've been talking about it. Even recently, we wrote to the Minister of Education and Ghana Education Service, telling them about some of these issues, that if they are not resolved, we would even boycott today's decision. But we are still on it. They promised to start resolving this at the end of this month, in November and all. So we've been talking about this, and that is why I'm telling you this, where they know. And we've been discussing it. But you come and you talk about it, and then they will come on radio and TV and then debunk it. But you go to the schools and you realize that what we are saying is the truth. So they really know the problem at stake, and they are aware that this is the situation that we are seeing. As teacher unions and as stakeholders who will come in and see what we are supposed to see. If we have to embark on an industrial action to ensure that the right is done, we will do it. And as I already reiterated, the circular, the statement of the letter that we wrote to the minister last month, definitely we are looking at them. If by November 2023, some of these things are not resolved, then definitely the next course of action will be taken, and everybody will get to know where we are moving on next.
So you as teacher unions, you're looking at November, where you're expecting that some of the concerns, because I know Jermaine is the provision of textbooks for the new curriculum. That was a hot subject of debate some months ago, where the deputy minister was daring individuals to point him to schools where there are no textbooks and the likes. That continues to remain a challenge, and other things. By November, if you don't see government take action on these concerns, you as teacher unions could possibly lay down your tools.
Definitely, we will not down our tools, but we will take an action, and everybody will be aware of the action that we are going to take.
Right then, Ms. Adukwe, many thanks for speaking to us this evening.
Thank you very much.
That's Adukwe Ayikwe Awule. He is the Communications Director of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Ghana, CCTGH, speaking to us this evening. And he mentions that these challenges are well documented. It comes as no surprise to persons who are within the education sector. Perhaps for first-time listeners, the conversation has been brain drain on the health front and maybe not on the education front. But for persons within, it is known, and the remedies to these challenges are known as well, almost similar to that of what is witnessed in the health sector as well. But November, the clock is ticking. We'll see what happens on that front. But we're staying on education just a while longer, because 1.5 million children aged 4 to 7 in the country are not attending school, with nearly 1 million out of the 1.2 million figures never attending, according to the latest report by Africa Education Watch. Executive Director of the education think tank, Kofi Asare, he's been advocating for increased government investment in basic education to reduce numbers and make learning and teaching more attractive. And we hear from Kofi Asare shortly, but he's also been speaking in relation to government investment. Let's listen to him now.
The only way we can ensure that the 1.4 million children aged between age 4 and 17 have an opportunity to enjoy an education is for district assemblies to expand their capacity to build more schools, so that the poor and vulnerable who are unable to pay for private education can access public education. So it's my expectation that at the end of this session, we come out with concrete actions, concrete commitments that will collectively enable to the benefit of citizens by way of local governments committing more investment in partnership with corporate Ghana in support of expanding basic education infrastructure and by extension access to equitable basic education. And only 9% of basic schools belong to government, then you should be concerned, because the structure there obviously suggests that the urban poor will be excluded. No wonder we have schools with class sizes averaging 80 in Ashi, etc. So Adenta was selected for a unique reason. In addition to its population growth or its high population density, issues of overcrowding, and the lowest share of public sector in basic education. is seen in Egbeta, as I mentioned. Only 9.
That's Kofi Asare, is the Executive Director of the Africa Education Watch. And what else is captured in that report is that they want the Ministry of Finance to uncap Get Fund and the District Assembly Common Fund and ensure their timely disbursement to resume work on abandoned school projects. This is Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Hot Edition here on 3FM 92.7. We're switching lanes now because lawyers for Minority Leader Dr. Kesalato Forson say he is ready to prove his innocence in the ambulance case brought against him by the government. They tell 3 News that they have no intention of settling the matter through a plea bargain. This comes in the wake of a publication suggesting the Minority Leader had written to the AG seeking to resolve the matter through a refund. Dr. Forson is accused of causing a €2.37 million financial loss to the states through a contract to purchase some 200 ambulances for the Ministry of Health, among others. Member of the team, that's his legal team, Ediji Tamaklu, says his side has no intention of entering into any such agreement.
There's no such, and that the publication is completely false. I think that it will do the Office of the Attorney General a lot of good to put out there in public any formal, by way of written offer or notice or application from Mr. Atu Forson to the Attorney General asking for a plea bargain. I think that will settle the matter. Nothing more, nothing else.
I mean, so you can confirm to us that no such letter has been written by Dr. Forson or his lawyers?
I'm one of the counsel for him.
Yes.
In fact, exactly. There had never been any such letter from our end.
As far as the Minority Leader is concerned, we know that previously there had been an attempt of an offer by some of the other lawyers in this particular case.
Absolutely. In fact, what I am aware is that the company called Big C, the supplier, had written to the AG seeking to have this matter resolved. Right? Subsequently, my understanding is that the AG gave an indication that since Big C, the company, is not a party, they're unable to take that step, right? And so, the last time I checked, the lawyers for the third accused made that representation. And you have been in court. You saw the day we even went to court where the presiding judge even indicated that if by the next adjournment that matter is not resolved, we'll proceed. You remember?
Yes.
And from that time, no setting has happened. Yes.
I mean, so as far as the Minority Leader is concerned, we know that when the case was filed, he pleaded not guilty. That is still a position that he stands by and is ready to.
But as we speak, we have opened our defense and so far called witnesses. The last person we called was Mr. Alex Mofi Mensa Mode. Yes. And once court resumes, we are supposed to call our next witness. So I'm really surprised about why anybody would get delegate to falsely make the claim that the Honorable Minority Leader is begging It's unfortunate. Obviously, you can imagine why the state would engage in this because of this Occupy BOG thing. So it's a whole diversionary ball.
That's Eduji Tamaklo, is one of the lawyers for the minority leader, Dr. Kaisel Atto-Forson, speaking to my colleague Joseph Akable. You're listening to the news here on 3FM. It's a hot edition on 3FM 92.7. We're streaming live on Facebook as well. Our handle is 3FM 927. And you heard him mention the Occupy BOG protests by the NDC. Well, Governor of the Central Bank will have a daunting task dealing with Parliament as a minority has declared him a persona non grata after a demonstration seeking his head brought parts of the capital to a standstill. Dr. Ernest Addison says the NDC MPs behaved like hooligans. The minority is tonight taking the fire to the BOG boss with firm assurance of holding him to the fire. Here's Minority Chief Whip Kwame Governs Abuja.
He's just declared war unto himself. Is this a statement that you side with?
Well, I can tell you for a fact, the majority of Ghanaians, even people who probably did not attend the demonstration, feel infuriated, insulted by the comments of this hopeless governor of Bank of Ghana. I don't even know how IMF or any Bretton Woods institution would see this man as worthy of being part of any negotiation. We are in a very bad situation. And instead of actually conducting himself in a bit of respectable way, he's decided to play the role of a very useless governor and then read out what somebody have told him. I'm not surprised that if you go on the internet, the people who are supporting him or are trying to champion his version of a description of us are the usual people in government who don't see anything wrong with the economy, who tells you that everything is hunky-dory and we are in a good place. But I can tell you that what my colleague, the minority leader, said is exactly the position of the minority. We shall respond to the governor of Bank of Ghana. The budget is coming soon, next month. You will see the reaction. We will have to look at this whole budget in line with the description of the governor of Bank of Ghana.
As Minority Chief Whip Governs Abuja, well, his other colleague, Boko Central MP, Mahama Ayariga, says they will make zero concessions to the police this time round when they hit the street.
We choose to engage in public protest to force you to resign because we know that you cannot be sacked easily by anybody, because the Constitution gives you that protection. Then you now call us hooligan. I'm saying that we'll continue practicing hooliganism because we believe that that's the only way to get you out. And, when I say that he will see how hooligans is. I really mean it, because next time, all the concessions that we're making to the police, we'll not make them again. Last time we met the police, when they said we couldn't get to the Bank of Ghana building, we said, tell us which law defines the Bank of Ghana building as a national security installation. They had no law that did that.
Right.
So we were just being gentle. So we said, okay, no problem. Tell us where the boundaries of the Bank of Ghana end as a security zone. Because the Bank of Ghana, it's just one street that separates the Bank of Ghana from the High Court building. Just a street. Okay? Just a street that separates it from the church. I think the Presbyterian church or something. So tell us where it ends.
The Anglican church. The Anglican church. Right.
Tell us where it ends. They couldn't tell us. So clearly, even they know that their use of national security considerations is flawed. There's really no law backing it. It's a big lie. It's just out of respect for them as an institution. We say, okay, fine, we'll take it that, that is what it is. And we'll limit our protest to a certain level. As hooligans, next time, we'll disregard all those constitutions and we would actually occupy the Bank of Ghana. And then you can treat us as hooligans. So in this country, we need to learn to talk. But you see, that is the arrogance, the level of arrogance that the MPP and its appointees have gotten through. And we must stand our ground as Ghanaians and hold institutions accountable. And we will not accept that.
I see.
That's the Boko Central MP, Mahama Ayariga. Let's get on the telephone lines now and speak to a security policy expert at the Center for Security Dialogue and Peace, because he's raising a number of concerns in relation to the posturing of a central bank governor. Mr. Akwe, many thanks for speaking to us this evening here on Hot Edition. So you say the BOG governor stands a risk of personal attack, him and his deputies, because of his posturing, describing the protests and the MPs as acting as hooligans?
Hello, Mawuena. It looks like the line. I'm not hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Right. I'm asking why you think the posturing of the central bank governor leaves him open to possible attacks against him and his deputies.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and good evening to your listeners. The point is that if you remember, before prior to the demonstration, Bank of Ghana was criticized that the information was that it's now a security zone. And what it means is that when there's a determination and establishment of a security zone, every element within that area or even within that premises or an establishment happen to be part of the security element that should be protected. So what it means is that you have the staff of Bank of Ghana who are part of the security element that should be protected. You talk about the access of the Bank of Ghana, which are also part of the security element that should be protected. So what it means is that at this very moment, looking at some kind of authorities coming from, the governor, who knows very well that he has been secretized, and that it is even because of, him that they were not, the demonstrators were not allowed to go closer to Bank of Ghana. And so what it means is for him to make such a statement, automatically he has been secretized as someone who is of high risk and that is being protected by the state. So for him to make that statement, he's now moving from being high risk to a critical, level of security that can be attacked. And so what it means is, this is a point that you need to be very careful about the outcomes, so you wouldn't, alter any angle of hunger from the protesters and other civilians who know very well that they are not happy with what has gone on in Bank of Ghana.
And so his posturing, there are those who've made the argument that he should apologize to the minority. In your view, can that decrease the risk factors that you've been raising, or you've been highlighting towards him and his deputies? An apology?
Of course. An apology would do, because we are getting to a point that a lot of people are facing difficulty when it comes to socio-economic difficulty. And that you can bear with me that some of these factors has led to some of the coups that we've seen in the sub-Saharan Africa. Talk about Niger, Burkina Faso, Gabon. These are very, very critical issues. And so what it means is that if he does not, guide his way of, speaking, and that if there's a need, like he said, there should be some kind of apology in order, to reduce that kind of hunger that people are having that can trigger, civil unrest if there need be. And you clearly can see from the minority side of their discussion regarding the next, demonstration is not going to be something that they are going to take it very easy, all because of the statement that is coming from the governor of Bank of Ghana. So I think that an apology would do, and that if possible, he should, refrain from such kind of statement that would throw the demonstrators into hunger.
Mr. Akwe, many thanks for speaking to us.
Very grateful, my brother.
That's Anthony Akwe, is a security policy expert, speaking to us this evening here on Hot Edition. And on that security note, we'll be bringing you the statement from the Ghana Police Service as well, where they say that they're on a manhunt for a lone robber operating in some parts of Accra. And they say that their CCTV the police says that they would like to assure the public that CCTV footages of a lone robber circulating on social media is a matter already being investigated by the police. Police intelligence teams have been working on the matter for some time now to get the suspect arrested to face justice, and they will surely get him. They add that additional security measures have also been deployed in the affected communities to prevent similar incidents. That's the Ghana Police Service with a bit more of that. This is still Hot Edition here on 3FM 92.7. I was streaming live on Facebook. Our handles 3FM927. Same handles on X, that is Twitter as well. 3FM927. Leave a message for us. Hashtag Hot Edition. Tweet at me. Personal Twitter handle Mawuena Eric. Stories we've been bringing to you this evening. Education Minister allays fears about shortage of teachers following reported mass exodus of teachers to Europe and elsewhere. We've been hearing from students from the colleges of education and the teacher unions who say that they've given government up till November to address all the teething challenges which bedevil their work. Failure to do so, they will advise themselves as to whether or not that will be an industrial action. We await to see. Also, the lawyers for Minority Leader Dr. Kesela Toforson, they've been fighting off claims suggesting that they've sought a plea bargain with the Attorney General over that 2.3 million euro criminal case brought against him. And we've been hearing as well the minorities' threats that they will do no business with the central bank governor, and a security expert, a policy expert analyst as well, has been providing his 2 cents as to what it is that can happen to decrease the risk factors for the central bank governor. Many thanks for staying with us, and we're taking you to the central region on a rather sad note, because the family of a level 300 student at the University of Education Winneba who allegedly committed suicide, they are demanding justice for their deceased relative. The student, whose name has only been given as Rita Anane, is reported to have hanged herself at a hostel under strange circumstances. Her family suspects murder and say they will use all available means to uncover the truth. Christopher Yawebisa has been speaking to 3FM.
We had the news yesterday on social media that our sister has passed on. Truly, we came this morning and we realized that it's true. We went to the police station, they took us to the morgue, and actually, we saw our sister dead. So, we are here to seek for what? Justice for Rita Anane. On behalf of what? The students, and as well as on behalf of what? The family. I cannot confirm because I'm not a doctor. So we are leaving the whole issue to what? For the law to take its course. Tomorrow we will go to the police station and hear from them. If it is true that she hanged herself, that one, I think we can communicate with you later. Rita is around 24 to 25 years. The best female entrepreneurship award winner for 2023.
Christopher Yawebisa speaking there. We'll be following the story as and when there's an update and bring that to you here on 3FM 92.7. It's time now for the very latest from the world of business. Michael Ogbodu is here with the very latest. Michael, many thanks for joining us. What do you have in business?
Well, hello there. Welcome to the business segment here on Hot Edition. Coming up, Food and Drugs Authority hints of beginning inspection and certification of locally produced vaccines as government attempts to position the country as a vaccine manufacturing hub in Accra. Now to details of our stories now. In line with the government's plan of making Ghana a vaccine manufacturing hub on the continent, the Food and Drugs Authority says it will begin inspection and certification of locally produced vaccines by 2024. The CEO of the authority, Delise Mimi Dako, indicated that this will be made possible upon the completion of its molecular biology laboratory to aid in the process. She spoke on the sidelines of a training program organized for her outfit on vaccine manufacturing regulations by GIZ.
Ghana is not a vaccine producing country at the moment, so the FDA is trained to do inspections of foreign manufacturing companies. So we have the capacity already, but we're looking to doing that for local industry. We are also building a molecular biology laboratory, and we hope that by 2024 we should have that lot release facility in place so that we can release the vaccines that are manufactured locally. We all have capacity in inspecting the vaccine plants because we do good manufacturing practice inspections for foreign companies, so that we have capacity. But we'll strengthen our capacity as well for that. We have 2 companies that are in the pipeline. You know about DEK, that broke ground sometime this year, and Atlantic Life Sciences that is also well into getting their facility ready to produce vaccines locally. So I know that by end of next year, we should be on our way to producing vaccines locally. We're getting there.
You had the CEO of the Food and Drugs Authority, Delise Mimi Daku. Now, the Director of Academic Planning at the Gempa Business School, Dr. Ebenezer Bugri Anafo, has observed that the Governor of the Bank of Ghana cannot completely absorb himself from the current controversies surrounding the bank. He has called on the Governor to respond to the calls and resign to save the already suffering economy from further deterioration.
One of the ways that I would suggest if I were the Governor of the Central Bank is to resign honorably in order to restore investors' confidence. It is better for him to resign to restore the confidence in the economy than to stay in there, and that will not augur well for our economy. And I think that this matter must be addressed by both parties in a non-partisan manner so that we can put our economy back on a very sound footing.
That was the Director of Academic Planning at Gempa Business School, Dr. Ebenezer Bugri Anafo, speaking there. Now, a crypto expert has urged for regulation of cryptocurrency in the country. According to Chief Operations Officer of Yellow Card, Jason Marshall, crypto is hugely traded in Ghana in the formal space. He noted the need for government to formalize the space in order to rake in revenue.
The cryptocurrency market in Ghana is massive already, and companies like Yellow Card have only a tiny percentage of it. Most of the industry in Ghana is the informal market. People are buying and selling massive amounts in cryptocurrency from Telegram and WhatsApp groups, as well as from P2P marketplaces that are based offshore. We know there's massive volumes. We think those channels aren't the safest and securest, and we don't think we hope that's not the future. We hope the future is something that can still provide the value, but also have some more controls and oversight and regulation, which we welcome. But the opportunity is huge because the problems are huge, right? It's bad. It's hard enough and expensive enough to send money from the UK here or the US here. Sending money back and forth from here to Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal or Kenya is painful and expensive.
Jason Marshall is a crypto expert and Chief Operations Officer of Yellow Card. And that'll be all for the business segment here on Hot Edition. My name is Michael Mbudu. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe.
Mike, many thanks for bringing us the very latest from the world of business. Sports next. Billy Shen, I like to call him the hardest worker in this company. He's joined us.
Don't start.
Right, all right. What's in sports?
Of course, the GFA elections was conducted earlier today. And of course, the results are out. And we're going to start off from the presidency because incumbent Kurt Yesu was re-elected for another term by acclamation after going unopposed following the disqualification of George Ifriye. He polled 117 votes. That's 97.5% of the total votes cast, with 2 delegates voting against his retention, whilst another delegate abstained. This was Ketukreku's reaction.
I am sorry on the bottom of my heart. If I did wrong you, I did wrong you for footballing reasons. I've always said that the road ahead of us will never be easy, it will never be smooth. That's why I call on all of us, just like I said in Kumasi, to come together, to stay together, because the leadership of your FA is ready to listen to the other man. We are ready. and we will listen to the other man. We will listen, discerning voices. The 4 years ahead of us to allow all of us to accelerate our rate of development. And it will not take only me, not take only my ESCO, one of us. Let go of the past. Open a new chapter of developing, new chapter of bringing love, one another, chapter of ensuring that we stretch our hands around our shoulders, say, Redeemer, we are one.
Open a new chapter, that is according to Kurt Okreku. Now, Gifty Owari Mensah was elected the representative of women's football on the ESCO after getting a massive endorsement from all 20 delegates. Former Black Stars head coach James Kwesi Appiah was also elected into the ESCO as part of the Premier League representatives. Appiah will be joined by Dr. Abe, Frank Frederick Echampong, Nana Safu-Odro, and Kingsley Onsu after he beat Eloine Amande in the third round of voting. Here's a reaction from Frederick Echampong after his victory.
We have to give thanks to God for the strength and energy and the blessings He's offered us. It doesn't come by chance. And then I would also want to thank the football family. I think that they've shown faith. They believe in me. And they've always been there for me, even in times of difficulty. So they gave me a promise that they were going to vote for me, and it's manifested here.
That was Frederick Echampong. Now, Vice President Mark Addo also retained his seat on the Executive Council as one of the representatives of the Division 1 League. But one man who missed out on the ESCO seat was Eloine Amande, who lost to Kingsley Osei-Bonsu after 2 runoffs. This was how he reacted to the defeat.
Losing hurts, but yeah, it's what it is. Yeah, I mean, I think that the delegates sort of understood what we're trying to communicate, that we wanted to come onto the Exco and help the game move forward. And I think that, yeah, we did the first round, we did the second round, and then the third round, you know, things went the way they went. But we take it on our chin, like.
That was Eloine Amande there, who lost to Kingsley Osei-Bonsu in the runoffs for the Executive Council seat. But 3 Sports can confirm that 13 people, including the President Kurt Okreku, face contempt of the court for their role in the GFA elections. An injunction application on the elections is still pending at the High Court. Now, 3 Sports spoke to the lawyer who filed the document, that is John Quayson, the lawyer for King Faisal, in their case against the GFA, and he had this to say.
The secretary of the GFA was cited in a contempt case not long ago. They pleaded with the court, and instead of going to jail, going to prison, they pleaded with the court, and then the court asked them to pay a fine. Maybe that emboldened them, that encouraged them that they could still go ahead in neglecting whatever is before the court. The matter has not even been adjudicated upon. The matter is pending. So how would they even conclude that the plaintiff has no case? You see? And as it were, these are people who have the strength, who have the desire to abuse the laws, thinking that if they use the buga, as we say in our parlance, the buga way, to still go ahead with the election, it will be too late for any court to step in.
That was lawyer John Quayson, the lawyer for King Faisal. Now, before I do go, of course, here are the list of the 13 people who are in contempt of the court. Kurt Okreku, who is the president, of course, of the GFA. Mark Addo, who is the vice president. Dr. Tony Obin, an ESCO member. Odro Safo, also an ESCO member. Dr. Randy Abe as well. Kingsley Osei-Bonsu, Linford Asamoah, Sami Eniemado, Georgia Marco, Frederick Echampong, Abibata, Salifu Shaibu Zida, and Prosper Harrison Addo. That brings an end to the sports segment here on the Hot Edition. My name is Billy Shen, and of course, Akofa is standing by with entertainment.
Right then, Bill, you've just mentioned Akofa with entertainment. Akofa, I always say that I want to know the team's support and then why you're not on Mentor, but I'm not going to see any of that.
Well, thank you very much, Bill, for the sports news, and we're ignoring Mawuena. It's now time for the entertainment news segment here on Hot Edition. Well, the clock is fast ticking to the grand finale of the 2023 Ghana's Most Beautiful. Now, the Bono region is yet to win the enviable crown in the 17 years history of the show. The pride of the Bono region, Kwatima, is hoping to leave a legacy as the first lady to win the prestigious crown for the region. She speaks with 3 Entertainment's Anita Ekufu.
How has the journey been, especially
looking at your story and the number of times you've tried?
Frankly speaking, it has not been easy right from the auditioning stage. You have to put yourself together, learn ahead, research, and bring out the best because you don't want your region as well as yourself to fail. So yes, it has never been easy, but we are sailing through, and this far by grace.
Of course, and when we're talking about the Bono region over the years, the region hasn't been able to claim the crown. What do you think you're going to do differently to ultimately claim the crown and probably become the first person from that side to win the crown?
First of all, I'm going to say a very big thank you to my previous queens. They did really well. But this year, with the help of my fans, the votes, I am going to work hard. I am going to bring out the talent, the best in me, so that this year, God willing, the crown will surely come to the Bono region.
Staying a while longer on Bono Region's Kwatima, in her interaction with 3 Entertainment, she shared her highlights of the show, what her fans and supporters should look out for on Sunday, and what project she intends to embark on.
The entire journey, what has been your highlights?
First of all, I'll talk about the opportunity itself as a highlight for me and meeting people that I've always wanted to meet.
The life after Ghana's most beautiful. That is when you win the crown. What are some of the projects you intend to tackle?
I am going in to be the voice of the talented but needy in the Bono region. I've realized that in my region, sometimes it is not even about money or exposure. People have talent. But then the mentorship is not there. We do not have a particular place where people with such talent can be groomed or can be mentored into what exactly they want to be. And so that is what I want to do after GMB, being the voice of the talented but needy.
Talking about the finale, what is Kwatima bringing on?
Because like I said, we have to take the crown to the Bono region. And you know what I'm bringing on board? Should I even tell you? The surprise will come on that day. But then look forward to a section where you'll be educated about the Bono region. It is enriched in culture. It is a land full of tradition. And so look forward for that.
Your people are watching, your chiefs, your family, your friends, your loved ones who supported you from day one. It's that final week.
Well, before I wrap up, let's turn our attention to Nayeli, who's representing the Greater Accra region in this year's Ghana's Most Beautiful. She's excited about the finale, which is on Sunday, October 8 at the National Theatre.
This is the finale, the grand one, the night where we make history. So I am going to bring every part of me. If there's an aspect you've not even seen before, trust me, you will see that night. I am going to make you proud because this is the night I have always dreamt of. And so I need to make a mark.
The self-motivated queen is fired up to bring out her all at the finals to win the coveted crown, but she is also counting on the people of the Greater Accra region for support. What does winning mean to you as Nayeli?
To be very honest, winning means everything to me. It means the world to me. And everyone who has known me since I was a child knows that this is just a dream. And it is what I look forward to. I'll be the happiest person on earth if I win this. And it is my prayer that I do.
And that ends it for the entertainment news here on Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa Mawuena.
Many thanks, Akofa, with the very latest from the world of business. So it's this Sunday?
It is this Sunday, yes.
Great,
and they're prepping. I think on Monday they went for massages. I was like, oh yeah, you guys need to be relaxed. And I remembered that the task ahead of them. So they really do need to relax. So yeah.
Right then, many thanks. That's how we draw the curtains down on today's edition of Hot Edition here on 3FM 92.7. As always, a lot more news if you log on to 3news.com. I am Eric Mawuena Egbeta.